here I am again to waste your time, or probably not. So, last time the topic I talked about was a little bit gloomy and boring. So, today I'm gonna talk about something fun and something I am really happy about, something that makes me happy like tremendously. So, that would be stationery supplies, and particularly pens, because when if I get to talk about stationery supplies, I would at least take um, 2.5 hours or 3 hours, because I'm a huge stationery supplies fan, including pens, pencils, color supplies, I mean, and whatnot, even scales and rulers and stetsware. I mean, the list is really big. So let's just start and talk about pens today. So before talking about that, I would say things have changed a lot in the stationery supplies market in our country. Like in from 80s to early 2000s, things were pretty, stable. I mean, the trends, the cultures, the supply, and the brands were pretty much stable. Like the brands that monopolized the market were kind of similar. But then things have changed. Indian stationery supplies have gained popularity in the mid 2000s, and later our own some new local stationery supply manufacturers have gained the market as well, and now it is a whole home market. Uh, so that would be the beginning of it, and I am going to show you some of the precious possessions that I have that is not functioning anymore, but I kept them as a part of my memory. They're like my time capsule elements. I travel past to the time when I was a kid with when I look at them, look at those. So the first one would be a red leaf DX and a Stadler stick. So let's start with Stadler. We don't have Stadler was like a very dominant brand in 80s and 90s to early 2000s, but now it's like totally obsolete. It's really hard to get hold of a Stadler product here. But back then in 90s it was quite popular. I mean, not the most popular brand, because there were some, you know is very affordable one-time ball pens that people used to uh, use for writing, I mean for rough writing. But when it came to exams, or like very important, or like when you have to use something reliable, this was one of the most used product. I remember when I was a child, and my aunts and uncles would take the big exams, like their high school finals, or like final exams of college. They would use Stedler pens, because they were like really smooth. The ink was very smooth, and it was like very good pen to write with. And then there was this bad boy, Red Leaf DX. I mean, this is this was like very popular. My whole family was like big fan of this pen. Though when I was a child, I mean, I think being like someone who doesn't like taking orders, well, I wouldn't like red lips much. Though these pens were really good, and well, not not necessarily I would always hate it, but I would like to use different brands at the same time. See, I've told you I'm a geek, and I like stationery supplies. So red lips were meant for exams, because it's really easy to write really fast with this ink. The ink quality was supreme, the original red leaf ink, and it was like not retractable, but disposable. The refills could be changed. So there were like my dad would bring like packs of refills and cartons of pens for exams and his official purpose, and for my aunt's use. He was studying geography and environmental science then, so he would like stock some pens for her as well. And these two pens are not found here anymore, like they're totally obsolete. This is actually, as a matter of fact, one of the last few units of red leaf in our country, because I mean, in at least in one shop they had like, in a little carton, they had like 3 pens, and I bought all of those. I gave one to one of my friends and kept 2 for myself. I used this one, and I have one last remaining. I keep it in my as my most precious possession. I don't use it because, I mean, if I don't get hold of another pen of this breed, I don't think I'm ever gonna use that. That's just my precious possession. After that comes this bad boy, Reynolds, though it is, I think, relatively available if I go to India. It's an Indian pen, and this brand is still pretty popular there. Speaking of Indian pens, from in the late 90s, like from 1998 to 1999, Cello was like very famous. So Cello gripper, the 0.5 tip pens have become very popular back then. Like gripping pens were not a popular concept before Cello. So basically, Cello started a revolution, and the revolution transcended the border and came to our country as well. So Cello was pretty popular, and I think Cello kinda shifted my interest from red leaf. So there were a rivalry between Cello and red leaf, and me being so young and not knowing things or two about life, I was siding with this bad idea. By the way, Cello actually had huge influence. So we had more Cello pens, like these gel pens of Cello Pointic. This is good. I still have a few, and I would have to say that Cello Pointic is one of the best gel pens I've ever used. I had a different packaging of Cello Pointic, and this is a blue one. They had like Cello actually sustained in our market for their various range of products, and actually relevant range of products, like this Cello Max Writer. The ink quality was good, and actually it would hold a lot of ink, and I could write a lot more pages with this one, and it's quite fluid as well. Moving on with Cello theme, we had I had like a few more Cello pens, like Cello Fine Grip. I used to write with this all throughout my 8th grade. I know this this pen looks really messed up, only because it's really old, and I don't know what happened to this. And this is Cello Technotape. I took my what they call like sophomore year final. Here we have like 2 exams in high schools. One is a secondary school certificate, and another is higher secondary certificate, which is the highest high school diploma. So the secondary school certificate, I took the exam with this pen, Technotape Cello. And let me tell you what happened to the actual big shake in the previously established stationery supply market. Started with this brand, Faber-Castell. I hope you can see here. Here we go. Faber-Castell. Oh boy, look what we have here. Faber-Castell, voila. Oh, it's horrible. Anyway, so Faber-Castell, when Faber-Castell started marketing red leaf, no, not necessarily red leaf. Faber-Castell actually captured the pencil market and color pencil market here very fast. So people start switching from Staedtler to Faber-Castell. And let's just talk about some local pens that really created a stir. I mean, that was the beginning of our new age of local pen manufacturing. So these were Econo 783, 789. I mean, this brand used to be known for their very famous, very cheap one-time use ball pens. But when they came with these disposable pens, this colorful disposable pens, things really changed for the pen industry in our country. This was the first big attempt to change the game, and later more colorful and different kind of pens started emerging, and I think that was the beginning of the shift of new era of local pen manufacturing. I think it is still getting boring, and there is no point about talking about these things without anything really cool. But these things seem pretty cool to me. I love these pens. These are like my friends. They take me to past because I remember these two. Actually, these three I got them for my 7th grade. I guess I took 7th grade pre-final exams with these three, and this was a gift from my dad when dad went to India. A Montex Miracle. He bought like a pack of it. And what else? Like now I write with mostly local pens. This colorful bad boys like Matadors. This pen is called Matador. The brand name is Matador. I mean, I don't turn into a Matador when I write with it. But there was a funny memory. In my high school final exam, I was like, and it was I think the chemistry part 2 exam, and the question was really easy for me. I was like really happy to take the exam. I was so relaxed that I fell asleep then in the middle of the exam. And when I woke up, I decided that I should play a little with the stationery supplies. I have to, just shake off the sleepiness. So I started playing with one of these pens, like juggling it, and one pen just dropped right into the palm of my left hand, and it left a scar, like this scar. Can you see this black spot here? Yes, this is my memory of high school final exam. And due to the success in chemistry, I actually received a scholarship from education board, I think, for that exam, doing well in that exam. And I think the chemistry part 2 exam helped as well. It was awesome. I don't mind getting a scar. This scar reminds me of happy things. Yay! And so, do tell me if you are obsessed with stationery supplies as well, like me, or how you hated this boring video. You let me know that as well. I don't know what else to talk about because I think I'm going to talk to my old companions, my old pens, and I'll keep on. I think I'm gonna dream about this tonight again, because it's 12 o'clock here, and I don't know, or maybe I'm gonna dream about Staedtler stick some more. Next day, I hope I'm gonna talk about my exploits with color pencils. because like I have a tin of right here, a bottle of enough color pencils, and I'll talk about it next day. I hope this didn't bore you so much. So sorry. Thank you. Don't forget to be awesome. And yeah. Bye. Have a nice day.